Good morning and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 180. I'm continuing the stories from 1001 Arabian Nights. And we just heard the story of Amina, Zubaydah's stepsister, yesterday. And all the things that had taken place with her that had put her in this state of having a body that was basically marked, scarred by the rod, because her former husband wanted to mark her for having been unfaithful to the pledge that she had made with him. Now, Houran Al Raschid, after this story had been told, the commander of the faithful, the caliph, he turned to Zubaydah and he said, "This serpent, what happened to her? And when will you meet with her again?" And Zubaydah said that the serpent had given her some hairs, a tuft of hair, and if she were to take 2 of these hairs at any point in time and burn them, the serpent would appear. So Houran Al Raschid asked Zubaydah for the hairs, for the tuft of hair. And Zubaydah went, got them, and returned. And Houran Al Raschid took that tuft of hairs and burned them all. As the smoke started to emanate from their burning, the whole temple, the old palace they were in, began to tremble. The ground shook. And as it did, it was as if the air became misty, like you couldn't quite see through it, like something in the entire reality had shifted. And then, in a moment, standing before the commander of the faithful, stood the serpent. But not as a serpent, as we could call her a she-demon, a woman. She was in a woman's body. And she said in words, "O commander of the faithful, you have sent for me, and here I am. How may I serve you?" Now, Houran Al Raschid, he seemed to be known by everyone, and every spirit as well, that inhabited time at that point. Houran Al Raschid said, "You were the one who turned 2 women into these 2 black dogs," for Zubaydah had brought the black dogs, "that are here with us now. Is that correct?" And the she-demon said, "Yes, indeed it is." "And do you have the power," he asked, "to return them to their natural form?" And she said, "O commander of the faithful, I do, and if it be your bidding, I will happily do so. I will return these 2 women, who are now these black dogs, to their natural form." Houran Al Raschid said, "Yes, I think it would be good to return them to their natural form, to allow them to escape this terror that they must be living in right now, this torture." "As you wish," said the serpent. "And after I've taken care of this," said Houran Al Raschid, "I would like to, look into who it was that created these scars on Amina. And this I would like to correct in whatever way I can, to have her fortune, her treasure returned to her, her respect restored. You see, I think today I'm going to make some choices," he thought. "I'm going to make some choices that I will be remembered by." And he didn't say it in an arrogant way. He said it in a humble way. He was going to do something unheard of. Now, I will tell you that when all these people were assembled. You have to remember who was there right now. The Caliph was, Jafar was, the head eunuch Mansour was there, the 3 calendars, they were present. Zubaydah, Amina, Sadie had come with them, the shopping girl who had originally brought the porter, into their house, and all of this had taken place since then. All those were present. And now, this serpent, the she-demon. As she had spoken to Houran Al Raschid, it was a beautiful thing that she said. She told Houran Al Raschid that this woman, she was referring to Zubaydah, had planted the seed of gratitude within her. And because of that, she had changed her 2 rather conniving and evil sisters into the black dogs. Seed of gratitude. What a beautiful thing. How many seeds of gratitude can we plant in a day? How many nice things can we do for other people that would thus impart a seed of gratitude? What does a seed do? It grows. This is something I think we all should be thinking about doing in any day that we can. Plant seeds of gratitude. Well, after Houran Al Raschid and the serpent had had their initial conversation, the serpent said, or the she-demon said to Houran Al Raschid, "Sire, I will return these dogs to their natural form as women. And after I do so, I will tell you, as I put my attention on it, who it is that created these scars on Amina, this beautiful woman in our presence. And I will tell you, you will be surprised by the answer, for he is the closest of men to you." At those words, Houran Al Raschid began to think, who's the closest man to me? Is it my sons? Is it Jafar? Who's the closest man to me? Is it the man who's standing closest to me? He wondered as the serpent took a cup of water and began to incant over it. She took some powder from out of a pocket of this garment that she wore and sprinkled it into the water, continuing to pronounce words over it. And then she went over to the dogs and sprinkled this water over them. She waved her hands over their heads and canted a few more words. And in a moment, in the same misty way as she had appeared, the air around those dogs becoming as if translucent in a certain way, misty. Those dogs became women again and stood with tears in their eyes to be released from this torture that they had been experiencing ever since they had been turned into dogs. Well, the next words that came out of the serpent's mouth startled all who were there. She turned to the commander of the faithful and said, "O commander of the faithful, know that that man who beat this woman was none other than your son, Al-Amin. He is the one that beat her, for he from afar had seen her and marveled at her beauty and wished, as many men do, to own, to enslave her soul, to enslave her spirit as his wife, to impose restrictions on her, that he might hang on to her in a way, well, that could never bring him happiness. Now, this woman had agreed. So do not punish your son for having beaten her, because she did break her vow. She broke her sworn vow. And thus, things unfolded in the way that they did. One must be careful with the words one speaks, the things one promises. For you are held by those words, whether you wish to be or not. The universe does not know anything but the truth. And what you speak out is that. Houran Al Raschid, of course, was amazed by this. He immediately turned to Jafar and he said, "Have my son fetched." Scheherazade stopped the story there. My goodness, what a tale teller she is. And how amazing that she has continued to hold off the Sultan. I think at this point, we're almost half a year or so into her telling tales. Perhaps she has won his heart. I don't think he wants to hear the end of the stories. And my guess is that even if they were to end, that violence that he carried within him, that anger, perhaps has been squelched. Okay, thank you for joining. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and please remember, sow as often as you can seeds of gratitude in this world that desperately needs them. All right. See you tomorrow.